with Jacob New, Botchford Project Fellow 2020. Jacob, thanks for making time. What did you know of Jason and the Botchford Project heading into all this?
I knew quite a bit. I kind of got into following the Canucks on Twitter and, in media around 2015. And I read quite a bit of his work, having him write for the province and the Athletic. So I knew quite a bit. And I heard when this project started, I was very on board with it. This was the first year I applied. But yeah, no, I was very aware of what he was doing in this market. He was a great writer, great talent, always looking for that vigorous talk, that discussion about the Canucks and what this team meant to the city. So it's a real honor to be a part of that.
We want to hear about your reaction when you were selected to be a Botchford Project Fellow, and then that moment when you stepped into Rogers Arena and it all became real.
Yeah, sure. I got the email from Jeff Paterson morning of, I think it was a Monday in January, and I honestly couldn't believe it. It was very surreal. I had gotten up because I was doing classes online at BCIT. We were in the midst of online sessions with COVID with this variant. And so I got an email around 9 o'clock and I just was getting ready for class. So I had to calm back down a little bit before class started. And so that was, but it really didn't become real for another couple days. And then going into Rogers was a really cool experience, walking in the bowels of the arena and running into people that I admire very much as, hardworking individuals, like Brendan Batchelor, Corey Hirsch, Dan Murphy. So it was a really incredible experience just doing that. And I'm never going to be able to forget about it, to be honest. So
was there a favorite moment as part of the day? A moment that you think you'll remember years from now?
It's difficult. I think going like the morning, I think was very fun. I was called first to do an interview with my subject, who was Connor Garland. So I think that was also a very fast process. Like Canucks PR did a great job of getting the players aside quickly on that optional skate. So I think I was in the media room for maybe 5 or 6 minutes before they're like, Jacob, you're up. And I was like, oh, okay, here we go. So it was very quick, into that one-on-one with Connor, and he was very gracious, super honest, forthcoming about his experiences so far on this team. And so I think just having that opportunity to be doing that interview is probably the thing that will stick out most to me. Sitting in the press box as well, it was a very entertaining game despite the results. So, I mean, that's probably what I would take away from it.
Garland was the topic. Expand beyond that. Why did you choose Connor Garland?
I think he was one of the more interesting players to look at going into the season. The Canucks had acquired Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Garland in that draft day deal, and he's been exactly what this team was looking for in him. He's that top six winger that can slide into a variety of roles. He's been a part of several moments this season, which I think have been crucial in, defining this roller coaster of a season so far. There's the Seattle Kraken moments. I think he's got 2 game-winning goals and 2 of the games so far with them. There was a stare down in their home opener. He's just got the real heart of a Canuck so far. So I was really excited to possibly, just talk to him about those things and, how the season has gone for him. So I felt like that was the best option for me as an interview for this project.
All right. You're obviously interested in this industry. Hey, it doesn't have to be this industry, but what's the dream gig? What would you love to be doing one day?
It's hard to describe like a specific role. Like I'm currently in broadcast and online journalism at BCIT, so I'm keeping my options open. Writing for this project was super fun and it's just a great opportunity. I think I'm going to keep that open. It's my first ever time doing something like that, but if it works out, you never could turn down a job writing. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of different platforms that, I could slide myself into. I think you and Blake have done a great job doing what you're doing. With the events of last year. So I think I'm keeping everything open. You never know what you might find me, whether it's writing or, online broadcasting, television, you name it. I'm open.
Jacob New, Botchford Project Fellow 2022. Jacob, thanks for this.
No worries.
With one of the Botchford Project Fellows, this is Madeline Craig with Kierszenblat Price. Hi, Madeline. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me.
So what did you know about Jason Botchford heading into this experience and the Botchford Project?
Well, I always feel so young when I say this, but I just turned 19. So the only things I ever knew about him was that I really liked reading his pieces because liked the way that he wrote articles as if they were stories with almost like beginnings, middles, and ends. Like you could follow along, and there was so much character that he could put into a piece. And that was kind of my only experience with him, was reading his articles.
Did that experience color how you went through your process at Rogers Arena? And did you have echoes of Jason Botchford in your head when you were trying to write your piece, or were you able to detach and put Madeline Craig's words in?
It definitely made me feel more confident in my style of writing, because I really like the way that he writes. And I think that there are elements of that in my own writing. So in a sense, I kind of thought about him a lot in his style as I was writing my own piece. But I think that there's still enough of my own personal style as well.
Tell us about your reaction when you were selected as one of the successful candidates to become a Botchford Project fellow.
Oh, it was so weird. I was actually driving with my dad, and we were listening to like some kind of replay of the like Canucks game the night before or something. And I got the email, and I was kind of like, is this a mistake? Like I didn't believe that it happened, because I just felt like I didn't have like a very good like resume to say that I wanted to do it. And I pretty much just told them that I really liked talking, I really liked writing, and I was just surprised that got me in, and I was really, really excited.
Tell us about walking in.
You got to see the game. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, then tell us about walking in Rogers Arena on the day it actually happened for you.
Oh, it was so crazy. I've always been like a big Canucks fan growing up. So obviously I've been in Rogers Arena before, but to be able to go in for morning skate, and then you're walking past all these people that you know from the internet, or you know from their articles that they write, and then you're meeting them in person. It was almost crazier than being able to see like the players so close in a sense. But yeah, it was just really exciting.
So what do you want to do with all this? You've had this experience now. You've had a little taste of what covering the Canucks or any other NHL team might be like. Where do you want to take this life? Because you got all of it in front of you.
I really don't know. I just want to be able to write somewhere about hockey, and I just graduated, so I don't have any like strict plans that I'm following. I'm a really big fan of writing, and I would love to be able to find somewhere where I can do that full time.
Tell us about the topic you chose to write on for the Botchford Project.
I chose to interview Jeff Paterson, and I wanted to kind of cover motivation and how he handles doubt from the media. And before the actual interview happened, I had a lot of people tell me that, you know, it might go wrong. It might not give you the answers that you want, but I had a really good conversation with him, and I was pleasantly surprised at how well it went. So my article is mostly about motivation and how he feels this season.
And he got you a goal, too, to back it all up.
I know. It was so exciting. All three of the guys that we interviewed scored that night. I know it was not a great game, but that was a good takeaway.
Beginner's luck. Sure, it's not always that way, but boy, when it works out, it's fantastic. Madeline Craig, a Botchford Project fellow. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you so much for having me.
With Adam Kierszenblat, one of the Botchford Fellows 2022. Adam, thanks for making time here, and congratulations on being a Botchford Project fellow.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's an honor to be talking to you two today.
Pleasure's all ours, Adam. So, first of all, tell us, what did you know of Jason Botchford and the Botchford Project heading into all this?
Well, my relationship with Jason Botchford was through the radio. That's how I knew him. I would listen to him on my way to work or on my way to school when he was doing the fill-in hosting or different segments that he did. I didn't really get the chance to read his work until post-mortem, unfortunately, but that was another opportunity that I really got to see how he wrote, and that's was why I wanted to really, be involved with this Botchford project is the way he wrote, the way he spoke his mind. And that's something that I feel like I want to be able to emulate in my writing and get the opportunity to write and be like the way that he did, where, he didn't in my opinion, Botchford, he had his own way of reporting and writing and speaking, where it was like, yeah, he stuck to certain lines, but he'll tell you how it is. Like, he's not going to try to sugarcoat something. He'll yell about how old players are, how bad the power play is. Like, he's not going to sugarcoat that. And I think that's something that's really special to have in a media member.
Good verb, Adam. Yell.
We need what did he say? We need an army, right?
Yes,
that was
an army.
What did you make of the whole experience of the day? Yes, you got to see a game, but you did the morning skate. You went behind the scenes. Tell us your overall picture of the day.
Well, going into the day, your mind is kind of clustered with, I'm about to speak to an NHL player. I need to get my questions right. What happens so you're running through a checklist in your head. Well, in my case, where it's like, what can go wrong here? Like, it's not like there's a lot of pressure, but it's like, oh, what happens if I ask a question and the player doesn't like it, and things like that. So in my idea, the morning skate and the player interview, it was like, I was so focused on that. And then the player interview was 5 minutes, and it's like, wow, I just talked to, an NHL player, and they answered my questions, and it was an incredible experience to sit and watch a practice, listen to Bruce Boudreau talk at the podium, like just be in that room where you see on TV or on Twitter or wherever, this is the room that they do all of their press conferences in. Like, you're in that room. Like, it's just it's a very cool experience that can't really put into words on how it feels, really.
Well, tell us who you spoke to, what topic you chose, what your angle was.
So I was lucky enough to speak to Quinn Hughes, which is pretty incredible because you talking to a player who will potentially win the Norris one day is just mind-blowing. But my angle focused on this evolution that we're seeing in the NHL around defensemen, where you don't have to be this 6'6" behemoth to be successful. Guys like Cale Makar, Adam Fox, Quinn Hughes, they're not gigantic in the sense that, or they're not traditional defensemen that we would have seen in the last 10 years. So it talked about, what he had to do to become this level of success, what type of skills he had to work on. And also I got to talk to him a little bit about how he became a defenseman. He was a forward at one point. So that transition, how he liked that transition. And it was an interesting topic because a lot of us who are not traditional hockey height, we were told, you're never going to make the NHL. You're never going to be able to play in a lot of cases. And then you have this 5'10" defenseman who is one of the top in the league. So it just focuses on like this evolution that we're seeing within the NHL and hockey in general.
Next time, Adam, just play it cool. Like, hey, I was talking to Quinn Hughes, and just like, no big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, now you've got that in your arsenal.
That's
with
right.
All your friends.
I was talking to Quinn Hughes.
So you're telling us about what the day looked like and going to see morning skate and talk to all these people do that for a living, Adam. That is a job. Is that a job you want in the future? Where is this going to take you, do you think?
Well, I would love to get paid to talk about hockey. Like, I think that's a dream that many of us have, especially Canuck fans. Like, if, I would love to be in the room every day interviewing players and writing about it or talking about it. So I hope that this opportunity and opens some doors it would be incredible to do this on a day-to-day life. I'm learning every day, learning how to write properly, learning how to articulate properly when it comes to sports. So you're not just throwing out stat after stat after stat, that there actually is a story around that statistic and why is it important. So my hope is that I can get to that point where I've learned enough and I'm showing that I know what I'm doing enough that I would get an opportunity to do this in a full-time capacity.
Adam Kierszenblat, Botchford Project Fellow 2022. Thank you.